Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 preview series where we cover Fnatic, the 2 seed from the LEC, from Europe, going to Korea for the tournament. The last 3 years we've seen varying results out of the LEC 2 seed. The last 2 years in particular they did not get out of group stage. In 2020 they would get to quarterfinals, so keep that in mind. Obviously, this format is different, and I do have some opinions on Fnatic. I think that honestly, they're honestly only getting better, but we'll get into that. Their coach is Nightshare. Nightshare has no international experience as a head coach. The average age of this roster is 22.2 years old. Now, let's get into it. Oscarinen in top lane is the youngest player on the team at 20 years old. He currently, at least at the end of the split and in season finals, was out with an injury. Wunder was in his spot. Wunder, obviously, a veteran, has won MSI, very storied career, one of the best top laners in LEC history. Oscarinen took his job this year, and the injury allowed Wunder to start. I'm assuming Oscarinen keeps it, but I think that it is going to be up to question who ends up playing at Worlds. As a rookie, he had a 3.9 KDA, 7.6 CS per minute, 60.1 KP. So these numbers aren't great, right? Weak side, staying alive, but giving up a lot of farm. Involved in 3 out of every 5 kills, though. So he's finding involvement as a facilitator. And as a rookie, I think that is really what should happen. But we do also have to keep in mind, like I said, he was injured. How long was he injured before he ended up, ceding the spot to Wunder to end the season? One has to wonder about that, right? 379 gold per minute, that's 20% of the team's gold. 437 damage per minute, that is only 18% of the team's damage. That is one of the lowest we will see out of top laners. Extremely facilitator oriented. That is glorified support. That is high tier carry jungle like percentage. On average, though, in the first 15 minutes, he does get his. In the laning phase, he is not behind by that much, only 60 gold, and actually up 6 CS and 220 XP. So he stays in lane, plays weak side, gets his farm. It's in the mid to late game where he's like, okay, I'm on Ornn, I'm going to just give up my gold. And, I mean, that is a thing, right? 4 solo kills in 28 games, played 11 different champions. He obviously has no international experience due to being a rookie. In the jungle, we have Razork at 23 years old. Keep in mind, these ages are, if there are a couple birthdays on this team during Worlds, so I'm counting that as their age. So 23 years old at this event. Carry-oriented, 3.8 KDA, 5.7 CS per minute, 75.3 KP. 3 out of every 4 kills. Very involved. Razork is in the midst of it. 363 damage per minute, 363 gold per minute is 19.4% of the gold. He and Oscarinen are not that far off when it comes to resource allocation. 442 damage per minute is 18.1% of the team's damage in the games that he played. So essentially the same amount of damage share as Oscarinen. On average, Razork gaps LEC junglers 275 gold, 10 CS, 235 XP. That's a diffy, right? He is ahead significantly. 4 solo kills, 12 champions in 42 games. In the 14 games, they did not have Oscarinen in summer. The team went 7-7. So keep that in mind. Razork, I didn't mention that before. Now back to Razork. These numbers are very good, right? We're going over players, and domestically, some players don't have a diffy, and you're like, oh, well, shit, when they play somebody actually, like, good in the international tournament, they're going to be gapped. And for Razork's case, I think he'll be able to stand his ground. I think that, he's okay internationally. One event, he went 6-5 at Worlds 2022 out in group stage. Had a 1.9 KDA, 5.7 CS per minute, 69.3 KP at that event. On average, 332 gold per minute, 361 damage per minute. Down 300 gold, 6 CS up, 62 XP, 1 solo kill in 11 games. So 300 gold is an item on average, so every game he goes even, he's down 600. But at the same time, he does get CS. So instead of taking first rift at Worlds 2022, he's getting farm. He's getting camps. He's doing this, he's doing that, instead of creating quite as much as he did this past split. So that's a thing. We'll see if he can step it up at his second international event. In the mid lane, we have Humanoid. Humanoid is the carry on this team. And that became very, very clear to me when I went over these numbers. 23 years old, had a 3.7 KDA, 8.9 CS per minute, 68.5 KP. So over 2 out of every 3 kills he's involved in, and he gets a lot of resources. 438 gold per minute is 23.5% of the team's gold. That is very close to what Noah's ends up being. So this team has co-carries, in my opinion. 30.4% of the team's damage, over 720 DPM. Humanoid deals a ton of damage. That cannot be ignored. His impact is felt by the opponents. On average at 15 minutes, he is not making a diffy though. 10 gold down, 1 CS up, 45 XP behind. 8 solo kills in 42 games, 13 champions played. So in the mid to late game, top lane, like I said, Oscarinen giving up gold. Because at 15 minutes, he's fine. But in the mid to late game, he gives it up. Humanoid ends up taking on those resources. And then deals the damage with the resources. So, I mean, that's a thing. Internationally, he's 37 and 36. Has had some success and also won very bad tournament. Worlds 2019 and 21, he would get to quarterfinals. 22 out in group stage. And Worlds 2020, he did not get out of play-ins with Mad Lions. MSI 21, out in semifinals. Across these 73 games, his KDA is a 1.9, but has a 9.1 CS per minute and a 59.1 KP. So very solo dolo when it comes to mid laners as far as international events are concerned for Humanoid. Sticking out to me, Worlds 2022 play-ins, he solo carried Fnatic as Upset and Hilly had COVID, coming off of COVID, coming to Mexico very late at that event. Humanoid took over in play-ins, and I thought he did just fine at that event. Was definitely a bright spot for Fnatic. 419 gold per minute, 567 damage per minute on average internationally, up 266 gold, 10 CS, 205 XP. So he makes a difference internationally in the laning phase. On average, he's ahead of his lane opponents. So, I think Humanoid gets a lot of crap. And he does int his face off from time to time, I'm not going to lie. But over the 73 games, he comes out ahead in my opinion. And 28 solo kills as well. So, I think he's underrated internationally, to be honest with you. At 80 carry, we have Noah. Now, I thought about this when doing this. He reminds me a lot of Root, and I'll tell you why. So, the KDA is great, 5.1. However, very passive. 9.3 CS per minute, 73.9 KP. The team fights around Noah. Noah uses his mechanics to be able to make things happen in team fights, and that's real nice. But at 15 minutes, on average, he's not making a big difference domestically. And if he's not doing that domestically, what do you expect internationally? When he has to play other Korean and Eastern bot laners. Like, just because you do it against, the Europeans does not mean you're going to be able to do it against Eastern teams, right? So this is a bit concerning, to be honest with you. I thought about it more. 446 gold per minute is 23.9% of the team's gold. 631 damage per minute is 26.6% of the damage. On average, he's down 130 gold, 4 CS, and 50 XP domestically. 7 solo kills, 9 champions in 42 games. This is not dominant by any means. Now, the KDA was extremely dominant when he came into the team, but as the split went along, the team got a different look, and Noah was no longer the carry. It was Humanoid and sometimes Razork. And yeah, Noah would pop off in team fights and stuff, but it's just not the same. He has no international experience. Support is Trimby. I think Trimby is excellent, very underrated. I thought that he was the reason Koi, and formerly known as Rogue, did so well over the years. in comp especially, and we saw comp take a step back without Trimby this past year. So, past split, rather. 23 years old, 3.2 KDA, 76.5 KP. Now, vision score not as strong because the team is not doing well in bot lane, getting ahead of 15 minutes. He's not able to get out of lane to find opportunities to ward. 274 vision score per minute, places 6 to 7 wards every 5 minutes. Similar to Sven, only 1 control ward every 4 minutes, and clears about 1 every 3. 11 champions in 42 games. Internationally, he's 7-11. Last year with Rogue would get to quarterfinals and 21 drop out in group stage. Across those 18 games, he has a 1.3 KDA, 71.6 KP, 253 vision score per minute, places 7 to 8 wards every 5 minutes. 1 control ward placed, 1 ward cleared every 3 minutes internationally. So I think Trimby is world class. I think he's fine at international events. I think Humanoid is as well. I think Razork stands his ground. Honestly, it's going to be up to the 2 newcomers of Oscarinen and Noah to get this team to a top 8. I do think, and I said this in the beginning, I do think there's an angle there where Fnatic could do something. Because the thing is, like, they have only gotten better and better and better and better as the year has went along. And honestly, I don't think they've hit their peak because the way Noah is playing. I think that the team is better served if Noah can really play aggressive, step it up. And I hope at this event he does that. Otherwise, I think he is going to be relegated to that. Frankly, he's in the LEC, but the type of thing you see out of Korean import 80 carries in minor regions, just having great KDAs, good numbers, but at the same time, leaving a little bit to be desired. Like, they're not really playing up to their best. And Oscarinen, obviously, is a rookie. I hope I see him play. I do believe they're going to bring Wonder, though, and it wouldn't shock me if Wonder played in the event as well. So, that's a thing with this team. I think that it's an interesting one. So, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.